did my music start off with? I guess I was forced to take classical guitar class when I was in high school, and I kind of sucked at reading music, but I had a group of friends that they stuck us in a room. We were like the advanced class because I was good enough to like mimic what I was being taught, but the teacher didn't know that. So what we would do for me to pass the test was like maybe like 10, 15 minutes before they would give us the exam. The exam was like playing like a whole song. I'd be like, play it, and I'd just watch them and then learn it. And then as quickly as I could memorize it, go play it for the guy, you know, and then he'd be like, all right, you get like an 80 or whatever. And then he'd like leave me there longer. I couldn't afford my guitar, you know. So that was like the only way that I had access to one. So mainly that's why I stuck in the class, because they would like lend me a guitar to take home and play. I was like really, you know, young, and my parents didn't really have much money, so that was like the only way I could play the guitar. So that's why I did it. When I first started writing for Feto, I was really angry and, you know, going through a lot of like stuff at home. You know, I come from a house where there was like a lot of domestic violence and all kinds of crazy stuff. So music was really my only escape. So I wrote a lot about like how I was feeling, you know, a lot of dealing with my schizophrenia and my depression, and you know, this weird feeling of feeling like an outsider and always like observing people. So I talked about a lot about that in my old band. It was a darker place that I was writing from, definitely. Yeah, it was coming from a place of just like wanting to make other people feel as much like shit as I did. Every show that I played, I always got the same reaction from people. They're like, dude, I want to go home and kill myself. Your music was so brutally depressing. You know, like you make me like, you know, sad, and like all kinds of stuff like that. And I mean, I learned that like I was getting my message across, you know, like my emotions and what I was writing about was coming through. And that was just like the first step in figuring out a lot of things about myself and what I wanted to do with music and stuff like that. And there's a lot of like crazy dark stuff going up here, and that's why I get like all worked up. I don't go out much. I mean, I mainly only step out of this, I guess you could say, golden cage of mine to go play shows, and that's pretty much like all the human interaction I get as far as that goes. When I'm on stage and I'm playing, I guess there's so much going on, like me with the harmonica and trying to get my pedals to do what they're supposed to do, and trying to get my amp to do what it's supposed to do, that for a moment, you know, the voices in my head actually subside. They stop, and I'm just like almost like in a trance, and I'm just doing what I'm doing, and I actually feel, I guess you could say, happy for like while I'm performing, you know. I guess the adrenaline and the euphoria and the concentration, you know, helps me for a moment kind of turn off the schizophrenia. And I guess it's like a break for myself, you know, away from me for a moment. The band basically and the music is a way for me to spread my message of being true with each other, you know, honest with each other, telling each other that we love each other. And I try to, you know, all these teachings like of esoteric stuff is also like written into my lyrics, you know. I mean, if you start listening to it, like when I talk about, you know, the circle inside the circle, it's actually referencing something that I physically saw. There's all these weird things in my lyrics that I hope somebody like is gonna like look into someday, you know, long after I'm gone. And I mean, I really hope people like it. And I mean, I choose my words very deliberately when I'm writing my lyrics, because I understand the power that words have. The song title names, most of it is just like crazy stuff that I'm thinking about. This sloth people don't cry stuff is because like I've had people tell me, you know, that I'm always real slow and real mellow all the time, and then I dyed my hair green, and they started saying that I look mossy. So I was like basically telling myself like sloth people don't cry, you know, like so it's like a song just telling people not to cry. And that song in particular I wrote for somebody very special to me, and it's basically just to remind her that there's more to us than just this physical body, that when we die, we don't really die, you know. So that's why I'm telling you there's something inside this machine. So don't you cry. I have a sound in my head and I want to get it out, but like I don't have the means to right now. Like I can produce it on the computer. Yeah, sure, that's great and dandy, but I want to be able to do that on stage. I want you to go to a show and see my band play and go home and feel like, what the fuck just happened? Like, you know, you were somewhere in some weird dream and now you're going home, you know, and I want you to feel surreal and unreal and visceral and emotional and almost like a spiritual experience, you know, so bring us all together and this one big awesome swell of music and love. Well, I guess what I would tell the people that like listen to my music and like actually like my band and stuff is like I really appreciate that, and I love each and every one of them, and that I love running into each and every one of them, you know, and that we should party together and like, you know, hang out more, you know, like I'm always up for meeting new people, new interesting people, exchanging experiences, you know, having talks about politics and religion and science and, you know, quantum physics. And, you know, I'm into robotics. I like to build stuff out of electronics. I paint, I cook, I do everything, you know, like I think everybody should strive to be well-rounded and know a little bit about everything, you know, and educate yourself. I think there needs to be more of that and less staring at your cell phone and hiding at your house, you know, get out of the house, turn off the TV, go to a show, hang out with your friends and your buddies. Like, do you really want that the last thing that you did was like, I was on Facebook and then I got, you know, runned over or got a stroke or a heart attack? I mean, that seems really wasteful and a really dumb way to die.